Hi, I'm Matthew Keller. I am Campus Advantage's Corporate Leasing and Marketing Coordinator.
Matthew, thank you so much for joining us today. Glad that you could take your time out to talk a little bit about what you're doing now after IB. So my first question is, how did you get in the position that you're at today at Campus Advantage?
Yeah, absolutely. So I started off sort of on the bottom rung. I was in college, I was in the IB program, and I was trying to find a way to pay my rent. And
Yeah.
I was a bit of an extrovert, younger in undergrad, and met with my apartment complex. They were avid that I was this marketing and salesperson that I had never been exposed to before. And so I took a risk. I left my current job and joined them as a community assistant. Did that for a few years and got really good at it. and
Yeah.
and so we leased up the largest property in the nation, which is there in Orlando, Florida, and then moved over to a sister property to develop my skills, something a little bit more challenging. I leased that up, and then I started getting hungry and wanted a bigger challenge, and so I took one of the more challenging properties in the entire market and we turned it around, did a huge value add renovation. And so by the time I was done, I had sourced millions of dollars of revenue, created millions of dollars of value in assets.
Wow.
And I started having conversations with my corporate office and saying, hey, I'm bringing a lot to the table. I'm bringing a lot of value, something I learned through the IB program, leveraging my contribution to the company. And they said, you're right, let's get you out here to Texas. And so as soon as I graduated, they brought me out to Texas and I've been just growing since then.
Wow, that's amazing. It's so funny. I mean, could you have predicted where you are today versus, how you started 4 or 5 years ago? Was this part of the master plan?
I don't think it's ever part of the master plan, specifically in student housing. I don't think I've ever met anybody who in kindergarten that was like, I want to be a corporate leasing and marketing coordinator for a student housing asset management company.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I think though that what I've always told people is I'm in love with business and I don't care what I'm selling. I can sell bananas on the side of the road. I can
Yep.
sell you an apartment. I can sell you a boat.
Yep.
I just love the process and I love the people. And so I think that was inevitable. I think, ending up somewhere in some form of senior leadership was always in my path.
Yep.
Selling apartments, though, I think was sort of this subconscious attraction because there's nothing more intimate with your customer than selling them their home and then operating that home. And
Yep.
so I've always been a
True.
huge people person,
That's
and
great.
being able to connect my empathy with my sales drive was a great opportunity.
Tell me a little bit about your experience, your training in the integrated business program. How has IB kind of helped prepare you for the challenges that you face on a day to day?
So it's funny because it's become really, really obvious those who have soft skills training and those who don't.
Hmm.
And especially in the business world, during COVID and pre-COVID, you could always tell this person has been developed in their ability to communicate, lead, work in a team, and prioritize and executive level decision making, which are all things that I took with the program, and someone who's not. And a lot of that has really contributed to my success. I tell people all the time, if it wasn't for the relationships that I forged during this process and understanding how to nourish those relationships and look toward the future, which is
Hmm.
a lot what I learned from IB, I wouldn't be where I am. So
Yep.
creating a case and arguing it and being able to have that relationship capital to get that big hump of entering the corporate world and then also being able to lean back on working in a team, leadership, communication, all those key soft skills that you learn in IB to be able to function in this area.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Yeah, we always stress soft skills, and as you know, our program was really built on teaching and assessing soft skills. And I think too that a lot of employers are seeking out
Mm-hmm.
candidates that are more well versed in soft skills, and with the hard skills, the technical training, a lot of those skills can be learned on the job, which is nice,
Right.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
So my next question is, if you could go back in time and tell your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be when you just started the IB program?
I've always said this in kind of an odd way, but it is translated in different mantras and personal sayings. But for me, it's protect your ship. And what that means is I am my greatest tool. And if I'm not functioning at the highest level in every aspect of my life, my emotional strength, my relationships, my mentality, my physical health, my financial health, I will fail in some area of whatever it is that I apply myself to.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
during the IB program, I was on all cylinders all the time, and
Yeah.
I did not do proactive self care. I didn't focus on my relationships. I didn't focus on the big picture. I was so engaged with the program and engaged with other things that I had going on in my life that you forget, holes start forming in the boat and
Yeah.
you start to sink. So just protect your ship.
That's really great advice. My last question relates to any opportunities that Campus Advantage might have, or any opportunities that maybe you could share with our current student body, internship opportunities, employment opportunities, anything like that that you could possibly
Yeah.
pass on to our students right now.
Absolutely. So we've actually become a bit of a treasure trove of career opportunities. I have everything you could possibly want to do. I have finance, I have sales, I have operations, I have accounting, we have a marketing company that we own, we have digital design, we have executive leadership positions, we have you could be on site, you could look into event planning, whatever it is that you want to do, reach out to me. I will find you somewhere in the country. I promise that we have a need because of the sort of the beauty of our approach to our offering, which is we focus on the students, we focus on the experience. Having students as part of that process is a huge part of their DNA. So, for like my story, I started off as one of those students that was just attended I think it was like a Christmas party, and they were like, "Hey, are you looking for work?" And now I'm in a corporate office. So
Yeah.
there's definitely a lot available.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Matt, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate seeing you and talking with you, and look forward to seeing you at the next virtual IB Alumni Networking event.
Absolutely.